A father's plea. A king's reported wish for his family to heal. A door, once slammed shut, now rumored to be creaking open. But while one monarch seems to be extending an olive branch, the heir to the throne is building a wall. For Prince William, the door is apparently firmly closed. The word from his camp is, never. In the palace halls of London and the sunny hills of California, a quiet war is being waged within the royal family. It's a conflict fought not with armies, but with whispered briefings to the press, tell-all interviews, and the deafening silence between two brothers. At the heart of it all is King Charles III, a father caught between the son who left and the heir who stayed. Reports suggest Charles is trying to reunite his family, but his every effort is allegedly met with a wall of resistance from his eldest son, William. While Charles seeks peace, William is said to believe there's no coming back for his brother, Prince Harry. This is the story of a royal stalemate, a father's hope, and a brother's unforgiving memory that could define the future of the House of Windsor. The latest chapter in this royal saga didn't start with a palace announcement, but with behind-the-scenes rumors. In the spring of 2026, the royal rumor mill began churning with talk of a peace summit. According to these media reports, senior aides for King Charles and Prince Harry held informal talks in London. There was no official agenda, but for the first time in years, the lines of communication, long dormant, reportedly started buzzing again. These rumored talks are being seen by some as the biggest sign, yet that the door, at least from the king's side, remains open to his youngest son. This outreach seems to follow a period where Harry himself has expressed a desire to mend fences, saying in interviews that life is too short to keep fighting. Driving this potential thaw, sources claim, is King Charles himself, who is said to be increasingly conscious of his health and the passage of time. Some insiders have even suggested that the king has given his new deputy private secretary, a former diplomat named Theo Rycroft, a monumental task: get the two warring brothers back in the same room. Rycroft, described as a calm and skilled operator, has reportedly made it his mission to get William and Harry talking again. Some anonymous sources even claim Rycroft privately thinks the standoff is ridiculous. Of course, it's worth remembering that these details come from the network of unnamed insiders that fuel the royal news cycle, not from official palace statements. Buckingham Palace hasn't confirmed any of it. Still, the sheer volume of these reports suggests a shift in the atmosphere. There seems to be a sense of urgency coming from the king's camp to at least try and pull the family back from the brink. The rumored plan is to get Charles and Harry together first, with the hope of eventually persuading William to join. But that last part is proving to be the biggest hurdle of all. While the king's camp seems to be looking for a path to peace, the Prince of Wales camp is reportedly digging in. For Prince William, the future king, this isn't just a family spat. It's about duty, loyalty, and what he sees as a series of betrayals that shook the monarchy to its core. To understand William's reported stance, you have to look at what sources close to him call the three major strikes that shattered the brothers' once unbreakable bond. Strike 1 was in 2020. Harry and Meghan's decision to step back as senior working royals, what the tabloids called Megxit, sent shockwaves through the institution. From William's perspective, as reported by those close to him, Harry abandoned his duty. But it was the couple's bombshell Oprah Winfrey interview in 2021 that really set things on fire. Meghan spoke of her suicidal thoughts, and the couple revealed there had been concerns and conversations from within the family about how dark their son Archie's skin might be. While Harry later clarified that he saw this as unconscious bias rather than racism, the allegation was a devastating blow to the monarchy's image. For William, who had to publicly state, "We are very much not a racist family," this public airing of such a damaging accusation was seen as a profound betrayal. Strike 2 was the Netflix series Harry v. Meghan in late 2022. The documentary was their side of the story, portraying the firm as a cold machine that fed them to the media wolves. They depicted a rigid hierarchy where they felt unprotected and misunderstood. For William, this wasn't just a documentary. It felt like a PR campaign designed to undermine the institution he serves. It reinforced his reported belief that his brother was determined to fight their battles in public, no matter the cost to the family. But the third and final strike, the one that seems to have caused irreparable damage, was Harry's 2023 memoir, Spare. The title alone, A reference to being the spare to William the heir set the tone. Harry recounted intensely private arguments, accusing William of physically attacking him during a confrontation over Meghan. He painted Queen Camilla as a schemer who had played a long game to marry his father. He even detailed arguments between Meghan and Kate Middleton over bridesmaid dresses. For Prince William, this was reportedly the ultimate sin. Harry hadn't just shared his own story, he had sold the family's secrets. Insiders reported that William was furious, not just at the claims, but at the very act of publishing them. In his mind, a line had been crossed, and there was no going back. With those 3 strikes, the gap between the brothers seems to have hardened into what some royal observers believe is a permanent split. While Charles may be hoping for a reunion, William is reportedly acting as the firm's gatekeeper, with his gates firmly locked. According to sources cited in numerous reports, reconciliation just is not on his agenda. William's focus, they say, is on his duty, his wife and children, and protecting the stability of the crown. This has led some commentators to describe the situation as a 2-track royal family. On one track, a fragile dialogue may be opening up between a father and his son. On the other, there's a deep freeze between 2 brothers, with the future king reportedly unwilling to even consider a truce. Royal commentators suggest William feels that any reconciliation would be seen as rewarding behavior he considers deeply damaging. As one source noted, William feels Harry has repeatedly chosen public exposure over private resolution. This has only hardened positions on all sides. Inflammatory rumors have even circulated in the tabloids, based on anonymous sources, that William believes Harry is trying to take advantage of the king's recent health battles. There is no verifiable evidence for this claim, but the fact that such a toxic narrative can even exist shows how bad things have gotten. The dynamic is further complicated by William's future role as king. Commentators like Tom Bower have speculated that when William takes the throne, he could move to have Harry and Meghan's title stripped. While this is purely speculation, and such an act would be legally complex, it shows how deep the animosity is believed to be. As Talk TV's Mark Dolan, a media pundit, has argued, Charles, by keeping Harry in the picture, is creating a problem for William in the future. In essence, the king's fatherly instincts are seen by some as being in direct conflict with William's reported pragmatism. William is said to be looking at the long-term health of the monarchy, and from that perspective, Harry may have become a liability to be contained, not embraced. So, where does this leave the king? He's a monarch facing a crisis that isn't political, but deeply personal. His desire for peace appears genuine. Friends and insiders have consistently described him as being deeply saddened by the rift. This isn't just about his 2 sons. It's also about his grandchildren, Archie and Lilibet. King Charles has met them both. Archie before the Sussexes' departure and Lilibet during the Platinum Jubilee in 2022, and it's only natural to think he would want to foster those relationships. This desire has fueled more speculation. Royal author Ingrid Seward has suggested that Balmoral Castle, the family's private Scottish estate, could be a neutral ground for a meeting where a visit could be managed with privacy. However, even this hopeful scenario comes with a catch. Seward and others have speculated that any such meeting might require Harry and Meghan to sign confidentiality agreements, which just goes to show how far the trust has eroded. The king is therefore walking a tightrope. On one side is his fatherly love for both his sons. On the other is his heir, the future of the monarchy, who reportedly sees any concession to Harry as a threat to the institution. William is allegedly not pushing for a reunion and believes too much water is under the bridge. He's said to be prioritizing his own family and his duty to the crown above all else. Charles's olive branch, extended with a father's hope, keeps getting knocked aside by the cold, hard reality of his heir's reported resolve. The king may want his son back, but the future king has apparently made it clear the exile is permanent. With the family seemingly split right down the middle, what do you think? Is a real reconciliation possible, or has too much damage been done? Is William right to protect the institution at all costs, or should a father's wish for peace come first? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more on the royal family. The story of Charles, William, and Harry feels like a modern-day tragedy about love, betrayal, duty, and freedom. King Charles, in the twilight of his reign, is reportedly making a heartfelt bid to heal his family. But he's confronted with the immovable will of his successor. Prince William, scarred by what he perceives as his brother's public treachery, has seemingly decided that the only way to protect the monarchy is to cut a part of it off. The result is a royal family at war with itself, on two separate paths that may never meet again. And for now, the story goes, a father is asking for unity, while his heir has only one answer: never.